Alrighty, welcome back everyone. It is LaughNgamez here. I'm back with another Starcraft 2 1 versus 1 bot AI cast. And we have got ourselves what should be a good one here today, as it's going to be a bot that I haven't cast in too long. It's Caninana, a very good Zerg bot, going to be taking on Phobos, a Terran bot that's been getting some upgrades lately, and yeah, I just think this will be a very good match between the two of them, as we do have Phobos moving out with a bit of a cheeky SCV and Rax. Now, the positioning of this one is a little bit questionable, as the map could be playing a role in this, as we do see the Rax is technically outside the third base, but there's a long way to go around to get to that natural. Not that Caninana has started up a natural yet, as it does have up, well, a spawning pool first, which it's known for, so it should be in a relatively good position to defend against this, but that doesn't necessarily mean things will go smooth. After all, these are bot games. They are always a little bit wacky, which is why we love them. And so if you guys do enjoy these bot games, make sure to go ahead and click that like button if you haven't already. You guys always blow it out of the water as far as the likes go and the comments. If you haven't already commented more bots, comment more bots, or you can write absolute gibberish down there, as it does help with the YouTube bot, the YouTube algorithm. And then, yeah, if you guys aren't subscribed already, go ahead and subscribe. We do have this being a double Reaper opening from Phobos, so a single proxy Rax with another one. Looks like Caninana may actually find the Rax, not quite. So maybe that Rax positioning is genius, as the Reapers can actually use the cliff and just jump up there quite quickly. Now there is already a Reaper out, so Caninana says roach time as a result of that, as roaches are one surefire way to try and deal with early mass Reapers. And yeah, Reapers are something that you really have to respect when it comes to bots, because they have unlimited micro potential. A bot will not forget about its unit and just let its Reaper idle or miss micro it, as this Reaper does start shooting at a Zergling. Caninana is firing up 8 more lings in order to deal with this. The Queen is doing a good job zoning this out for now, though, as the Reaper count grows on up to 3 presently. Queens on the front are defending, no third base for Caninana. Behind this, looks like there was 1 ling attacking this depot, but there is a natural base up for Phobos. So this is the power of the Terran build, in which if Terran goes for like a Reaper or a proc or a Marine rush, that there's always the potential for the Terran just to throw up a CC or 2 behind it and macro out of it. That really is one of the big strengths. So that's kind of what Phobos is doing here, although it is still just churning out these Reapers, presently up to 5, make that 6 now, going up to 8. So Caninana will need some roaches to defend against this, and we'll see if it's able to corner these Reapers or anything. Thunderbird is a map which really is notorious in these bot games, in that the Reapers, they have nowhere to retreat past a certain point. They do force one of the roaches underground, as the rest of these roaches are moving forward. A few of the Reapers do sneak on by and actually get on out of there, but then some of them do go back in. So lots of math is happening right now as far as the positioning programming goes. The numbers game when it comes to whether the bots think they can take the engagement or not. Units moving around constantly definitely impacts this, as Caninana does have 2 more roaches about to pop out, so we'll see if that's going to be enough to make it think, yeah, I can fight this, but maybe not, as at the same time, Phobos does have more Reapers and Hellions now on the way, so potentially just trying to put pressure on Caninana right up until it can potentially kill it. But that roach count does continue to grow, and roaches definitely do beat Reapers, so this is one of the situations. A human player, the Zerg would probably counterattack or something like that, but to program a bot to handle something like constant pressure from Reapers isn't easy, because if you've got any kind of programming that says, hey, address this threat, your units will constantly be sort of jockeying for position. And let's see, Roaches do want to move forward, but then they do pull back as Reapers are going towards the south. There is an Overlord that's now getting shot at. Caninana is getting up a Spine Crawler, which may help it out, but what Caninana really needs to do is get up a third base, get up a lot more drones, as Phobos is macroing decently hard behind this. There's 38 SCVs out. There's now a Cloak Banshee going to be on the way, an extra Starport. This is a very cool strategy from Phobos, which is now at 10 Reapers, 4 Hellions, and still poking the front of Caninana. I believe that was the first, okay, pardon me, second Reaper only to go down in this game, so that's very impressive how Phobos has been able to keep them alive. It's not just been throwing these away, but it definitely has been getting an advantage just based off this positioning. This Roach is burrowed underground. It does pop up and immediately regrets that decision. But yeah, like Caninana, it's kind of being pulled in multiple ways, as there's units to the south, and then there's units at the third base. Now a Banshee's on the way out. We do have one Spore Crawler being built. We'll need a second Spore Crawler to be built sometime after that. There is an Overseer, though, and the Queens can potentially deal with this. A few Reapers do go down as some Roaches get grenaded and bounced. Tunneling Claws is also done for Caninana, too. So eventually it should be able to clean this up, but the question is, will it take too long to clean this up? Because Phobos now has a third base on the way up. Caninana building spines, building spores is hurting its own economy. It's on 25 drones. Now these Reapers do seem to be finally falling as Caninana is gobbling these up, but it's still being pulled in multiple directions by this. So not perfect splitting of the groups of units that it has, which is a bit unfortunate because it definitely has the numbers to clean this up, but this is a common thing in bots. Anyone who's ever played a game, like an old video game or even a new video game, there's always leash points in the AI, so that if you kind of poke and prod constantly, you can sort of toy with it. Now these Roaches are getting on top of some of the Hellions, which is nice. It looks like there's only one Reaper to the north now, so that may eventually be finally cleaned on up. A Banshee is being a nuisance. There's Overlords, flying out very cinematically as they try and maximize map vision for Caninana. Banshees are hanging out on the front. Queens do move forward to engage them. The Zerg has yet to deal with this one Reaper. I feel like once this one Reaper gets taken care of, Caninana will really have things open up for it, but it may never actually kill this Reaper if it's just going to lose its Roaches, as the Banshees do have speed now. There's currently 3 of them. There's 6 of them in total. Some Hellions do dive into the natural. They get cleaned up. Work resumes there. The Reaper has finally gone down, I think, but Caninana, it's keeping its Roaches at home, trying to get up a Spire in order to deal with this mass Banshee air threat, but then it's still just one base. And okay, there we go. An Overseer shows on up as Queens all unburrow to start dealing with these Banshees. Caninana has got a much larger army than its opponent, but it really is being toyed with a little bit here, as Phobos is currently on 3 bases, going up to a 4th base and a 5th base on the way. That's just incredible for the Terran bot. And so yeah, I think we'll have to see Caninana go for an attack or something soon. That being said, the Zerg bot is one of the best late game bots out there, so it can potentially just play this one out despite having a very rocky start. Once the Spire's out, that will help deal with the Banshees in the sky. And that attempt at a 3rd base is very important. We'll see if a Banshee can shut that down again or not, as the Spire's still on the way. A drone is moving on out, but they are not going to make it there, as there's Marauders, there's a Siege Tank on the front lines. Where are all the Roaches of Caninana? They're hanging out in the main base. The Banshee present is still messing with it. We're seeing critical drones go down, and Phobos is really just running away with this one off this opening. So things are quite painful for the Zerg bot as it's grouping up its Roaches. Caninana might be a little bit too passive in some situations when it comes to picking a fight. I'm not sure what it's waiting for, why it's not engaging into this Terran force, because sooner rather than later, Caninana needs to get out there and get something done, as it's 33 drones to a whopping 83, as Phobos continues to take the map, continues to up its tech, and get all that good stuff going. We've got Banshees still flying around being a nuisance. There is a single Corruptor out trying to chase some of this down. The Zerg finally moves forward. It gets on top of this tank. It forces this Terran army back, as Caninana is on a higher supply than its opponent as far as the army is concerned still. But then we've got things like Banshees harassing, causing problems. A third base is finally getting up for the Zerg, which is really quite important. Looks like the Corruptor may be able to catch this Banshee. We shall see. Oh, it needs one more shot, as the Zerg has found this Rax as well, so that's going to be killed off. Caninana just wants to macro up and do its thing, but it's had a very, very difficult time in this match, as we see drones are starting to be added more and more. So 43 drones to 83 SCVs, that's not good, but it's better than it was, I suppose. And then the question is, can Caninana just hold on long enough? As we do have Phobos moving out for an attack. These attacks will become more and more frequent as the Terran bot continues to just pump out units and use its ridiculous production. I will say the one kind of saving grace for Phobos in this game is the fact, or pardon me, for Caninana in this game, is the fact that Phobos is building planetaries instead of orbitals, because if it had, say, all these planetaries as orbitals, it would be pulling over like 4,000 minerals a minute probably, and it would probably be already maxed out. So choices like that definitely do matter, which is why I think if I ever programmed a Terran bot, I'd probably... I think that would be a very strong place to have some machine learning as far as the decision to either build orbitals or to either build orbitals or to build planetaries, because that's something you can very easily track. You can say, hey, in the last game I lost my third base and it was an orbital. Maybe try making it a planetary this time. Now, Caninana is being poked very hard by Phobos as a tank is getting big shots off. The Zerg does move forward. It's lost a great number of roaches, though, as these Ravens are worth their weight in gold. Plenty of Queens are going down. The Zerg bot does have a fourth base that's getting established, but it's taking a very poor trade and is now down on army supply compared to its opponent. So we'll see whether Caninana can make a miracle hold happen here or something, as the Terran bot just continues to poke forward. We're now seeing 5 ghosts be added at a time. That is a very scary amount of ghosts. Then just these marauders and ravens supporting each other on the front lines with the medivacs too. The Zerg bot does spill forward. Once again, a tank does perish, and lots of auto turrets are getting thrown down. So the cost efficiency for Phobos should not be terrible, and it isn't actually that far behind in resources lost. We do see a very nice fungal growth get tossed down from Caninana. That's one of the things it's the absolute best at, using those infestors. Zerglings and roaches are spilling forward. There is +2 attack on those roaches as well. Morlings, more queens being added in. Caninana has crawled up to 62 workers. It just desperately needs to hold on here. We see a snipe hit a queen, but it gets transfused. Lings are moving forward, getting on top of this Terran army. They do have +1 attack. Soon enough, they'll have +2 attack, and Carapace as well. Phobos, while this is going on, though, is making a ridiculous amount of ghosts. 8 ghosts at a time were on the production tab. There's presently 9 out. But then it's also building 6 marauders. Caninana, meanwhile, decides to add on some Swarm Host, which is very interesting, as I'm not sure what its plan is with those, whether just to use them constantly defensively or what, as the Zerg does seem to get a moment to breathe, but then it decides to move forward, kill off some auto turrets. I think some more Corruptors would be nice against these Ravens, as there presently is just one of them out. But I mean, Caninana, it's on 4 bases. It could take a 5th base pretty darn soon, which is quite important. It needs to take all the bases it can before Phobos takes them all, as it has taken literally every base except this one that's covered in creep, and it may be eyeing that up in the future as it is clearing the creep at this potential 5th base location. Snipes are going down on some Hydras. They are prime snipe targets, as they do get one shot by it, unlike, I believe, roaches and queens. Or does snipe one-shot roaches? I believe it probably does, right? Yeah, 130 damage. Roaches have 125 HP. I want to say... no, they have 145. Yeah, roaches do survive a snipe. Pardon me. Or maybe that's wrong. Because there's the plus biological. Psionic damage. Okay, so that's why they deal so much damage versus queens, pardon me. Okay. Alright, so Caninana does hold on. It hasn't allowed this 5th base to be stolen yet, but it also hasn't secured it up for itself, as Phobos is maxed out, and Caninana is just continuing to spam out lots of Zerglings, which it's frequently losing. We are having random Locusts get thrown on down, and Adrenal Glands is on the way for the Zerg. I think seeing some more Infestors would be quite nice for Caninana too, but it does seem to just be in Zergling building mode against this composition. And who knows, it might just work out, as the pathing of Thunderbird is definitely interesting. We got this mineral wall, which definitely makes this not as a direct location to attack. We got these rocks, so the map really can be split along this line here. But Caninana's holding on. It's almost maxed out now at 170 supply. We'll see what happens when it is able to hit 200 supply, if it can hit 200 supply. Currently, Caninana is leading Phobos in upgrades. Notably, there is an armory for Phobos, but we've yet to see +2 attack or any further upgrades from the Terran, so that could be a way Caninana gets a lot of efficiency here. Looks like some Lings are running forward. So many snipes are going down on this Zerg force, though, as Caninana just loses like 30-40 supply. The one silver lining is that it does build some more Infestors after this, and there is big potential for Fungals on this Terran army. At the same time, who knows, there could be snipes or EMPs on the Infestors as well. We do finally have +2 attack getting started for Phobos. I have no idea what it was possibly waiting for there. The only thing I can assume is that it was like at 198 supply, and it has some requirement before getting further upgrades of being at like 200, because it had the money before. It just didn't get the upgrades, which is very bizarre. Anyway, we do have snipes going down, auto turrets still being thrown out as the Terran is maintaining this position. Lings do go forward, but Lings against this many ghosts achieve absolutely nothing as Caninana loses more and more of its army. This is ridiculous. This is 29 ghosts as the queens, and really anything Zerg, will just be sniped into oblivion. There's still the 3 Infestors building up energy. Caninana is still having its upgrades roll. There is no 5th base for the Zerg bot yet, though. It hasn't cleaned out this planetary, although it has been maybe killing some SCVs with some roach harassment, but there's a good scan from Phobos to secure a kill on those units. The Zerg bot is catching a few of these ghosts, interrupting the snipes by attacking, as Phobos is having a hard time. Looks like there's also some SCVs not properly mining gas, so a bit of a bug in Phobos there. Very interesting animation. Those SCVs are definitely on the Terrazine, that's for sure. As looks like this Corruptor is going to caustic spray a planetary. That could be good. Phobos is continuing to push on. It is on creep. The Zerg does move forward, picking off a decent number of these ghosts. Definitely still a questionable trade, as Phobos can afford to replace all these units time and time again, whereas Caninana definitely cannot, as it's now starting to mine out its natural. The third, well, it was taken very late, so it's still got a bit of room left. We'll see if we ever get that 5th base going or not from Caninana. Caustic Spray hitting this planetary. This spell goes on forever and ever. Phobos does have good repairing behavior. Now, let's see here, as 2-2 is about to finish up for Phobos. That's quite nice. +2 Carapace finishes up for Caninana, though. Caninana's now long-distance mining from this base. That's a feature I do like to see in bots, long-distance mining, as if you got workers that aren't generating efficiency otherwise, just make them long-distance mine. If it's relatively safe. We've got some roaches poking forward and some Lings trying to clean out another base of Phobos. Well, the only base to potentially be cleared out. We'll see if that happens. There's this Caustic Spray, which is definitely helping eat through Phobos's bank. We'll see how long that lasts. If only there was a few more Corruptors for Caninana. But Caninana, notably, is one of the only bots that does use Caustic Spray. It's very cool. Roaches, though, unable to break this planetary, as they're just a little bit afraid. Caustic Spray is still going down on this base. Caninana up at 176 supply. We'll see if it ever gets brave enough in order to try and poke this location. There is Infestors with 200 energy in this army, but they haven't been using any spells, really. The Zerg is still jockeying for position here. Roach is still poking out, but unable to break this spot. The Corruptor still caustic spraying, as just the Zerg does push out a little bit. Caninana now at 187 supply. That's the highest it's got to. It's going to remedy that by losing a bunch of supplies. It does go forward, trading many Hydras out for like 2 Ghosts. But then it's still kind of poking forward a little bit. And then still caustic spraying this base, which is eating through the money of Phobos. Phobos isn't responding to that. Auto turrets are generating efficiency for the Terran bot, though. Every unit they kill is a big deal. The Zerg does eventually get this 5th base up, though. Well, getting established, it's still not done, but it looks like it will get up at this point, as Phobos has been afraid to step forward and engage in this. A Snipe goes down, catches an Infestor. The Infestor does throw down a Fungal, which prompts the Zerg to move forward for an attack, but really just 1 Ghost died there, so not the best trade for Caninana. In fact, Caninana has been trading worse than Phobos in this match now, and that's probably going to get even worse as time goes on, because Phobos is getting these further upgrades very slowly, but surely. It does have +2 armor. It's about to have +2 ground weapons, which will benefit its tanks. And then we still have this 1 Corruptor caustic spraying, the real MVP unit in this game. I mean, the Terran army is a little injured. It must have eaten another fungal or something during that, but still Caninana is on the back foot. It's just been losing so many resources in these lings. 500 lings have died, just surging forward on top of this Terran army, and now all of a sudden Phobos will move forward and potentially break Caninana, as this base is not mining anymore. In fact, it is gone. All we need is 1 or 2 god-tier fungals. That's all we need to see from Caninana, but if it hasn't gone for the fungals yet, I don't think we're going to see them. Snipes absolutely obliterating the queens there. I mean, this base is still mining, but it's Caninana finally gained a base, and then it lost one. It's been unable to break its opponent. We did have a fungal go down, catch some of this Terran bio. There is still 2 Infestors remaining, but there's just not enough army for the Zerg in order to handle this. It's just been feeding forward with its lings, never hitting that high supply. And look at this, Phobos builds 11 Ghosts all at once. The Corruptor is still caustic spraying, but this base was never broken. And now the natural of Caninana is being breached. It's been a very slow but steady push from Phobos. It just got into a commanding position off the opening, and yeah, I'm really enjoying these Phobos games. So if you guys do want to see another one after this, click that like button, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and yeah, just let me know in the comments down below what bots you want to see. I hope you guys don't mind when I do cast like the same bot 3 times in a row, because I find when I get interested in a bot, I'm like, okay, let's explore this a little bit more. And right now, Phobos is definitely one of the more interesting bots out there. I mean, yeah, really no criticisms or anything from Phobos at all. Like, it played a pretty straight-up game. I mean, of course, there's this gas bug, unfortunately. So that is something that would need to be resumed. There is Corruptors. Well, then the upgrade timing was the one other thing I wondered about, because like it did seem like it had the money to get those upgrades a little bit sooner than it actually got them. So I'm not sure what it was waiting for there. But anyway, unfortunately a slow death for Caninana, just trading out lings. Too many. Not quite reaching that Zerg death ball that it's known for and so good at, but it is difficult to play against 31 ghosts, so that is a little bit understandable as we await Phobos to clean this up. Eventually, who knows, maybe this Corruptor will get the planetary. It's definitely the MVP of this game, that's for sure. And it just goes to show that a little bit of work as a bot author can go a long way. Like, the fact that Caninana has been programmed to use caustic spray, it's done this to so many Terrans for so long. Like, it's Corruptors are definitely just very efficient for the most part. Snipe kills off an Infestor. The scanning behavior is very good from Phobos. Despite only having 2 orbital commands, it's been using those very efficiently. And yeah, now the main base is gone. If you guys haven't already checked out the membership program, feel free to do so, as that's the best way to support the channel. But of course, all completely optional. But everyone that does support the channel is appreciated. I think that's the last structure. And GG. I'll see you guys next time.